Everyone, this is the 1 p.m. Hearing docket. I'm Judge Jackie Powell, and we're here in first appearance court. I will let you know if I've determined probable cause, and then we will talk about release conditions. Today is not your trial date, so I encourage you not to talk about your case on the record. If you are represented by attorneys from the Public Defender's Office, you may want to speak with those attorneys before saying anything. If you are represented by private counsel, they do come to the courtroom. If they're not here, you can let us know. We will see how we can accommodate that. Okay, so at this time, I am going to start with Shanita Romero. Where do we have Ms. Romero?
Approaching Judge Sierra, ma'am, municipal ordinance.
All right, Ms. Romero, these are two municipal ordinance violation charges for panhandling and no OSHA vest. What do you want to do today, ma'am?
I'd like to resolve this, please.
Okay, so Ms. Romero, if you wish to resolve your case, will be adjudication and time served. Do you wish to accept that?
Yes,
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm to tell the truth?
yes,
Okay, you can put your hand down. What plea do you wish to enter, Ms. Romero? Guilty or no contest?
guilty,
Oh, well, your choices are guilty or no contest.
no contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. And your sentence is adjudication and time served. Good luck.
Thank you.
Donna Lacey,
North Broward, Your Honor.
North Broward.
North Broward.
Excuse me.
All right, Miss Lacey, you are before the court today for murder, not premeditated during a specific felony, and count 2 is a parole violation. The court finds probable cause. I'll hear from the attorneys.
Your Honor, based on the probable cause affidavit prepared by Detective Roque of the Broward County Sheriff's Office, the state would be seeking a finding of proof evident or presumption great for first appearance purposes only, and that Ms. Lacey be held no bond on this punishable by life charge of murder in the second degree.
Matt, where you going, baby?
Judge, oh, there she is.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr.
Judge, at this point, we're going to defer argument. We are going to invoke her right to remain silent and not to speak to law enforcement at this time.
Okay. All right, Ms. Lacey.
Excuse me.
I find probable cause. I am going to make a preliminary finding of proof evident presumption great. This is without prejudice for you to have a bond hearing before your division judge based on State v. Author. And so at this time, you will be held no bond on count 1, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Mr. Hill, come on up here.
And Ashley Barcelo, okay? And Ms. Barcelo is before the court. This is a change of charge.
Yes, Judge.
When you were arrested, it was fleeing and eluding law enforcement with active siren, and now it's fleeing and eluding law enforcement at high speed. How much bond did she have before?
Your Honor set bond originally at $1,000. She also has a $5,000 bond on an out-of-state hold for identity theft. Just requesting that the court place a $1,000 bond back on this charge.
They've just changed the charge, ma'am, but I'll leave the bond at $1,000, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, good luck. George Hills,
North Broward, Your Honor.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That's fine.
All right, so Mr. Hills has a trespassing charge.
Yes.
Judge, I spoke with him, and I think he'd like to resolve today if possible.
Okay,
Offer would be time served, no return, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hills, I'll resolve your case and sentence you to adjudication and time served. And is that acceptable?
Yes, ma'am.
And you cannot go back to sleeping in front of that business. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Hills, please raise your right hand as best you can. Is swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Mr. Hills, what plea do you wish to enter? Guilty or no contest?
No contact.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. Your sentence is adjudication and time served and no return, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Patricio Alvarado.
He's present, Judge. He's approaching. He has private counsel. I believe my colleague, contacted him or something
Okay.
like that. Mr. Alvarado, come on. Mr. Alvarado.
Mr. Alvarado, maybe, is he the one sleeping in the back?
I think that is him, yeah.
You need some more time? Oh,
He's approaching, Judge.
okay. All right, Mr. Alvarado, you're before the court for one charge of misuse of a 911 system. Do we, Mr. Goldberg, you talking to his attorney?
Judge, I was just given that information. I'm calling right now. I don't know. I didn't get the name of the attorney, though.
Oh, you didn't get the name of the
No,
attorney?
but I think there's a private attorney.
Mr. Alvarado, what's the name of your attorney?
Daniel Rosenberg.
Daniel Rosenberg? Do you happen to know the number?
954-892-1277.
892-1277?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, hold on just a moment.
Vamos chamar o intérprete dele para 24. Você precisa falar comigo? Você precisa falar comigo? Não. Obrigado.
Alan's on his way.
Mr. Alvarado, when did your family speak to Mr. Rosenberg?
Daniel Rosenberg's my friend.
All right. I'm not getting any answer, and here's what I'm telling you, that unless you've retained him to represent you on this case, or your family has called him to represent you, he's not your attorney yet. So I said that, well, maybe I didn't say that before I started. So right now, you're before the court for misuse of a 911 system. You have $100 bond, and I'm gonna leave that in place. The court finds probable cause. Good luck, sir. Scott Allen,
Judge, recall, please.
he also has a what? Okay, all right. All right, Scott Allen,
Judge, he's on his way. Can you put on recall?
okay. Enrique Ortiz,
Mr. Ortiz is here present, Judge. I mean, he's approaching and he declined the service as a public defender.
all right, Mr. Ortiz, you are before the court for charge one is DUI, alcohol or drugs, second offense. Number two is DUI with breath greater than .15. Number three is driving on the wrong way, and that's a traffic infraction not for magistrate. The court does find probable cause, and I'll hear from the state in regards to your bond.
Your Honor, I was going to request, based on the, based on the breath results in his prior DUI was 2015, I'm asking the court to keep the bond in place, also pretrial with random testing.
All right, how much, what was, the breath was,
Was a .199190.
okay. All right, so Mr. Ortiz, at this time, you have $1,000 on counts one and, charges 1 and 2. And I'm also going to, plus you'll be on pretrial supervision with random testing,
Okay,
okay?
yes.
I'm going to ask the deputy to give you the instructions for the pretrial office. They are not open tomorrow, as tomorrow is 4th of July.
Okay.
Regular electronic, okay.
No, it's not, I don't think it was,
It wasn't Tad. No, no. Yes. All right, so on Friday morning, sir, you need to report to the pretrial office. If you don't report, a warrant will be issued for your arrest, okay?
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
that's after you post your bond, and then you'll be on pretrial supervision as well, okay?
Okay,
Anj,
And Judge, I've been advised Scott Allen is gonna be a medical recess.
Scott Allen is a medical reset, thank you. And Angelo Sanzidiaz,
He's here, present judge. Come on up, Mr. Sanzi Diaz.
Mr. Sanzidiaz bond has been posted, okay?
Oh, beautiful.
All right, sir, you're before the court for DUI and 2 traffic infractions, not for magistrate. I find probable cause, and I've been advised by confinement status that your bond has been posted, okay? Mark Woodson,
Bonded, Judge.
Mr. Woodson bonded, the court finds probable cause. We have the Spanish interpreter, who needs a Spanish interpreter,
North Broward has 2, Your Honor.
okay?
First one is on the first docket is Mr. Juan Carrillo. Mr. Carrillo, come on out. Juan.
Page 10.
On our,
Page 10.
oh, Juan Carrillo, okay? All right, Mr. Carrillo, you're before the court this afternoon for an additional charge for immigration hold.
Señor Carrillo, usted está frente a la jueza esta tarde por una cargo adicional por una detención de inmigración.
The court finds probable cause, and you will be held no bond at this time on this charge.
La jueza haya motivo justificado y no le van a dar fianza, lo van a detener sin fianza por este cargo.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
All right,
Can I speak?
sure.
Sí.
¿Cuánto tiempo y cuál es el procedimiento? Ya que yo aquí realmente desconozco y no sé
How
cómo
long
es el
and what is
procedimiento.
the procedure? Because I don't know the procedure here.
Homeland Security, he'll have to go before,
Tiene que ir ante la Seguridad Nacional.
immigration judge.
Inmigración, un juez de inmigración.
Okay?
Okay, me gustaría que sea lo antes posible, por
Okay, I
favor.
would like it to be as quick as possible, please.
All right.
Está bien.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Samuel, okay, who else needs a Spanish interpreter? Sorry.
Another Mr. Gonzalez Ivan on the second look docket.
The second look docket.
this is the one.
Mr. Gonzalez, come on in.
All right, this is on the felony docket.
Sorry, buena.
Judge,
Wait, what page is he on?
he's on page 4 of the second look docket.
Página 4 de la
Okay.
lista de segunda vista.
All right. So Mr. Gonzalez was arrested on June 29th.
Señor González fue arrestado el 29 de junio.
He's brought before the court this afternoon for a second look at his bond.
Le traen frente a la jueza para ver una segunda vez su fianza.
and inquire of the witness using the interpreter? I haven't had the chance to speak with him.
Hold on just a moment. How much, okay.
Looks like
He
bond is
has
set
a
at $3,500.
$3,500 bond?
Yes,
Tiene
Your
una
Honor.
fianza de $3,500.
The reason being, Your Honor, is it's treated as an enhanced because it's a second or
La
more.
razón es porque ese aumento en el aliento es una segunda vez.
Mr. Gonzalez has been designated by the state as a career offender.
Señor González ha sido designado como ofensivo reincidente por el Estado.
I see he's got 10 prior burglaries of structures,
Tiene 10 allanamientos previos de estructuras,
3 grand thefts.
3 robos mayores.
Previous arrest, I was advised by pretrial, it's in the 30s, Your Honor.
Los previos arrestos son como los 30.
All right, Mr. Goldberg.
Señor Goldberg,
Judge, I'd have to speak to Mr. Gonzalez, but I can do that with the...
tengo que hablar con el señor González.
Mr. Gonzalez, your
Señor
bond is set at
González.
$3,500.
Su fianza está fijada a $3,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you afford that bond?
¿Puede pagar esa fianza?
No, right now, no. Just I got an opportunity of it, but I cannot afford right now to afford I cannot can pay right now the bond right now.
Okay. I would encourage you to use the services of the interpreter and
Le
speak in the language that you're most
aliento a que
comfortable.
hable en su idioma más cómodo con
If
intérprete.
English is that language, that's no problem, sir.
Si inglés es ese idioma, no hay problema.
I just want to make sure that you're fully
Quiero
able to
asegurarme
communicate
que
with the
usted
court and
puede
understand the
explicarse
proceedings.
completamente.
Are you
Sí,
able?
sí, lo que
Yes,
no
yes.
tengo cómo ahora pagar esa suma ahora, pero si tuviera la oportunidad de un pitchwork del Estado, no sé.
I don't have that the amount right now to pay for that sum, but if I have the opportunity to get pre-trial, I don't know.
How long have you lived in South Florida, sir?
¿Cuánto tiempo ha vivido en el sur de la Florida, señor?
10 years.
Okay. And what city are you living in?
¿En qué ciudad vive?
Aquí en Broward.
En Broward.
Okay. Do you have an address, sir?
¿Tiene una dirección, señor?
Sí, I got an address, yes.
And what is that address?
¿Cuál es la dirección?
12850 West State Road, 84 Lot 219. David, I know how to spell it in English clear. David, Florida 33325.
With whom do you reside at that
¿Con
address,
quién
sir?
vive en esa residencia, señor?
Yo con mi hermano y my brother.
With my brother.
Okay. And how long have you said that you've lived at that address?
¿Y cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo en esa residencia?
About 3 years right now.
Okay. And do you own or do you rent?
¿Es dueño o alquila?
No, just rented. I pay part of with me, my brother. I pay, like rooming.
Okay. Judge, at this time, Mr. Gonzalez is asking that you place him on pretrial release. He provided the address to the court.
Esta dirección.
And so we would ask that in lieu of financial bond, that the
proveída, y
court
ya
place
que
him
no
on
hay
pretrial release to that
finanzas,
address.
Fianzas financieras, pues que le den pre-trial.
And, Your Honor, I was also just advised by
Excuse me.
pretrial.
Me avisaron a pre-trial.
Mr. Gonzalez was released from state prison in September of last year.
En septiembre del año pasado, el señor González estaba en la prisión estatal.
Was picked back up in December
Y lo
and date on another
recogieron en
burglary.
diciembre. Pero no fue enjuiciado por esa.
So it was dropped, but only 4 days
Fue
prior to this
retirado.
arrest.
And he's got there's his permanent address in Miami, and now today he says he
Tiene
has
una
a Davie
dirección
address.
Permanente en Miami, ahora hoy dio una dirección de Davie.
I am going to leave the bond in place at this time.
Voy a dejar la fianza como está en este momento.
Okay. All right, is there anyone else who needs a Spanish interpreter?
¿Alguien más necesita intérprete en
Conti, Your
español?
Honor.
Okay,
He's also on the second look docket. Perez Gonzalez Jose.
It's on the misdemeanor.
oh. right, Jose Perez Gonzalez.
José Pérez
I got you.
González
Mr. Gonzalez was arrested on June 16th.
fue arrestado el 16 de junio.
So is it a second look?
It is, Your
De
Honor.
la segunda vista,
He also had a felony VOP that he has resolved.
tuvo una violación de probatoria de delito mayor que ya resolvió.
His sentence on that case ends July 4th.
Su sentencia en ese caso termina el 4 de julio.
If he wishes to resolve this case, the state's offered being adjudication time served.
Si él quiere resolver este caso, el Estado le ofrece un fallo y tiempo cumplido.
Actually, Your Honor, the state's offered being adjudication time served on count 1
Por el primer cargo
and withholds on 2 and 3.
y retención de fallo en el 2 y 3.
Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, do you wish to resolve your case today?
Señor González, ¿quiere resolver su caso hoy?
Sí,
Yes.
Do you understand the offers to resolve your case?
¿Entendió la oferta para resolver su caso?
¿me puede repetir de nuevo, sir?
Can you
Por favor.
repeat it again one more time, please?
On count 1, with the operating without a valid license,
En el cargo número 1 de guiar sin licencia válida,
you'll be sentenced to adjudication, which and time served.
va a ser sentenciado a un fallo y tiempo cumplido.
As to counts 2 and 3, which are failure to register vehicles 2,
El cargo 2 es no registrar el vehículo
and unlawful license tag sticker attached is 3.
y chapa ilegal con sello ilegal es 3.
And on those 2 charges, the sentence will be a withhold adjudication,
Y en esos dos cargos la sentencia va a ser retención de fallo,
which means no conviction on your record for those 2
que
charges,
quiere decir no condenen su récord por esos dos cargos
and court costs.
y costa judicial que tiene que pagar.
The adjudication on count 1 is a conviction on your record.
El cargo de número 1, un fallo, va a ser una condena en su récord.
Sí.
Yes, fine.
All right, so then, sir, will you please raise your right hand?
Por favor, alce su mano derecha.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
¿Jura o afirma decir la verdad?
Sí,
Yes.
Mr. Gonzalez, do you understand? You can put your hand down,
Puede
sir.
bajar su mano, señor.
Do you understand everything that we've discussed here today?
Señor González, ¿entiende todo lo que le hemos hablado aquí hoy?
sí,
Yes.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
¿Alguien le está forzando a resolver su caso?
no,
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
¿Está bajo los efectos de drogas o alcohol?
no,
No.
Do you need any more time to speak with an attorney?
¿Necesita más tiempo para hablar con un abogado?
no tengo abogado por
I don't
favor.
have an attorney right now.
Well, you do. It's just that he's in the courtroom with me. So do you,
Tiene, está en el tribunal conmigo.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Mr. Perez, I'd be happy to speak with you over the phone if there's anything that you'd like to discuss further
Si usted
with the
quiere
help of
hablar
the
de algo
interpreter.
más con ayuda del intérprete, puede hablar con usted por el teléfono si quiere.
No,
No.
estoy bien, gracias.
Thank you. I'm fine.
and do you understand, sir, that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Y entiende, señor, que usted tiene el derecho de ir a un juicio, pero al declararse aquí hoy para ese acuerdo, está renunciando a ese derecho.
Ujú, sí, gracias.
Yes, thank you.
And have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
¿Y ha sido tratado por una enfermedad mental o emocional en algún momento?
No,
No.
And sir, do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Y entiende que al declararse aquí hoy, usted puede ser deportado o a cambios de inmigración. ¿Entiende eso?
sí, señorita.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then what plea do you wish to enter, guilty or no contest?
¿Y cómo quiere declararse? ¿Culpable o no disputa?
Una disputa. ¿sí?
No contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea.
Acepto su declaración de no disputa.
I find that it's freely and voluntarily given.
Hallo que es libremente y voluntariamente dada.
As to charge 1, your sentence is adjudication and time served.
Para el cargo número 1, su sentencia es un fallo y tiempo cumplido.
And as to charges 2 and 3, your sentence is withhold adjudication and court costs.
Y para el cargo número 2 y 3, su sentencia es retención de fallo y costa judicial.
Okay, good luck, sir.
Ok, buena suerte, señor.
Gracias.
Thank you.
All right. And then do we have anyone else at any of the other facilities that needs a
Two
Spanish
people at Maine, Judge.
at Maine? Okay.
The first person would be on page 7. His name is Charlie Smith Martinez. Senor Martinez.
All right. All right, Mr. Martinez, you're before the court today for an ad charge, which is an immigration hold.
Usted está frente a la jueza hoy, señor Martínez, por un cargo agregado que es una detención de inmigración.
It is a no bond hold
Es una detención sin fianza,
placed by Homeland Security
puesto por el Departamento de Seguridad Nacional.
and based on the immigration detainer,
Y basado en la detención de inmigración,
the court finds probable cause.
la jueza haya motivo justificado.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
The second gentleman is on page 9 of the docket, and his name is Jorge Nolasco Cordero.
Okay. All right, Jorge Nolasco Cordero, you're before the court today, sir.
Señor, está bajo el tribunal, entre el tribunal hoy, señor Nolasco Cordero.
Charge 1 is driving while license suspended.
Cargo número 1 es guiar con licencia suspendida.
Second offense.
Delito es un número 2.
Number 2 is careless driving.
Y el cargo número 2 es guiar con descuido.
That's not for magistrate.
Eso no es para el magisterio.
And charges 3 and 4 are felony violation of probation.
Y el cargo 3 y 4 son delitos mayores, violación de probatoria.
Those have no bond holds.
Eso tiene detención sin fianza.
And you will see your division
Y va a
judge
ver su juez de su división
on Monday at 8:30.
el lunes a las 8:30.
The court finds probable
La
cause,
jueza haya motivo justificado
and the bond on count 1 is $100.
y la fianza en el cargo número 1 son $100.
Good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
All right, is that it? Anyone else?
All the people that require Spanish interpreter, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Samuel Lamy.
Conti, Your Honor.
Page 6.
All right, Mr. Lamy, this is a misdemeanor KPS. It's an at charge.
Mr. Laney has a no bond hold on a felony matter.
Okay, so this is an additional charge, sir, for a petty theft. And the court finds probable cause. Your bond on this count, which is now charge number 6, is $500. Okay?
Thank you, Judge.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
And Michelle Gario Rozier?
Judge, I
He's
was
North,
advised
he's North
that
Broward, Your Honor, he
court.
refused.
All right.
This-
Mr.
Mr. Gario.
Gario Rozier. All right, this is an ad charge, and the court finds probable cause. It's a no bond hold from Homeland Security. Okay? Alonzo Luis Fajardo,
He's approaching, Judge, here at Maine.
okay? Mr. Fajardo, you have 4 counts of violation of felony probation, all with a no bond hold. And then number 5 is an immigration hold, which is also a no bond hold. You'll be before your division judge on Monday at 8:30, okay? Brandon Doherty,
Oh, Mr. Doherty is here present, Judge at Maine. He's approaching. Come on up,
Okay.
sir.
all right, Mr. Doherty is before the court. Charge 1 is possession of cocaine. Number 2 is possession of buprenorphine. Number 3 is driving with a suspended or revoked license. Number 4 is attaching license plate not assigned. 5 and 6 are traffic capuses. The court finds probable cause.
Judge, and speaking of Mr. Doherty, I talked to him as far as the bonds that are in place. I believe it's $3,050. We're asking if the court would consider releasing him on pretrial release. He's been here his whole entire life. He's 30 years old. Unfortunately, he lost his job about a month ago, and he lost where he was living. So unfortunately, right now he's homeless. He's living at his car in Boynton Beach. Meanwhile, while he looks for a steady job, he tries to do odd jobs wherever he can. He'll do handyman, things of that nature. Now, his girlfriend is pregnant and she has her own costs. And unfortunately, she can't afford to post his monetary bond. So, Judge, we're asking if the court would consider releasing him on pretrial release. And I do understand on counts 5 and 6 that he missed court. From what he advised me, there were so many things going on in his life as far as with losing his job, becoming homeless. Judge, he won't do that. He will come to court. He'll report to pretrial, but he's asking the court if he would consider releasing him on pretrial release.
Your Honor, I don't know that Mr. Doherty would be a good candidate for pretrial. Looks like he just got out of custody in Palm Beach within the past couple months on a drug matter. He has a pending possession of cannabis in Palm Beach right now. I'm showing, he's been to state prison in the past. His most recent release from state prison was in 2014. And as already mentioned by counsel, he's already here before the court on a failure to appear.
Judge, he got out of prison, as the state said, about 4 years ago. And my understanding is the open offense in Palm Beach, I believe it's a misdemeanor cannabis offense. But that doesn't change his financial situation right now. He can't afford a post bond. He's asking that one of them is a drug charge, or actually 2 of them are drug offenses. We wouldn't have an objection besides standard pretrial if the court also wanted to include random drug testing, Judge.
Well, it seems like right now that it appears that whatever is going on is escalating. So, he's missed court on 2 traffic matters. Judge Hurley did impose a $1,000 bond on that KPS. And he has a pending, albeit a misdemeanor drug charge in Palm Beach, but now he's got felony charges in Broward. So I'm gonna leave the bonds in place at this time, okay? Joseph Dubin,
Mr. Dubin, come on up, please. Oh, and judge declined the services of public defender. And I believe he's gonna ask the court if the court would consider, ask a fireman side if his bond's been posted. He believes it's already been posted.
okay? All right, so while they're checking, Mr. Dubin, you're before the court. Charge 1 is possession of alprazolam. Number 2 is possession of drug paraphernalia. Number 3 is disobeying a red light, which is a traffic infraction not for magistrate. I do find probable cause. And confinement does not have any record that your bond has yet been posted, so.
My bond has not been yet posted?
No.
Okay, because it's been paid already. I'm just waiting for it.
Okay, all right, so your bond is $1,000. Good luck, sir.
All right.
Felipe Osorio Aravena.
He refused.
Paul Ryan, he refused?
Yes, Your
All
Honor.
right, Mr. Aravena, this is an ad charge for an immigration hold. It's a no bond hold, and the court finds probable cause. Okay. Calvin Murray,
He's here, present, Judge.
all right, so Mr. Murray is before the court today for an ad charge. This is number 4. It is an immigration hold. And based on the immigration detainer that has been provided by Homeland Security, the court finds probable cause Mr. Murray will be held no bond on this count. Okay. Dimitri Daniels,
He's at Paul Ryan, Judge.
do we have Dimitri Daniels, Paul Ryan?
You looking for, Your Honor?
Dimitri Daniels,
He refused also, Your Honor. All the immigration on this end refused.
all right, so Mr. Daniels has an ad charge, it's an immigration hold, based on the detainer provided, by Homeland Security, the court finds probable cause, and he's being held no bond on this count. And then Sean Hibbert,
He's here at Main, Judge approaching. Come on up, sir.
all right, Mr. Hibbert, you're here because, there's been an ad charge, number 2, for an immigration hold, based on the, immigration detainer provided by Homeland Security. This court finds probable cause, and you'll be held no bond, at this time. Okay? Johan C. Lewis,
Conti, Your Honor.
all right, Mr. Lewis, you're before the court for an ad charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon.
And,
This is the,
yes, Your Honor, this is the case I provided you with a copy of the original PC. Mr. Lewis was, when he was originally arrested, he was charged with robbery with a weapon, and we have filed that as presented. Judge Murphy set a $250,000 bond, pretrial release of the GPS monitor level 1. Now this has been ad charged. Frankly, Your Honor, whatever bond the court deems appropriate for this charge, the state is satisfied with. The only request I would make is if you could also include the pretrial release GPS level 1 on this count as well.
And Judge, I spoke with Mr. Lewis. He's unable to afford the bond on count 1. So I know that this is going to end in a bond motion before the division judge. So we would just ask the court set a reasonable bond on this count as well. I shouldn't say as well, but in this count.
okay. All right, so finding probable cause, I'll impose a $5,000 bond on this count. And he does have court, it looks like, on Monday. All right, good luck, sir.
Monday.
Matthew Brady,
He's approaching, Judge.
Good afternoon, Judge Powell.
good afternoon, Mr. Brady. You are before the court, sir. Charge 1 is grand theft, number 2 is petty theft, number 3 is dealing in stolen property, number 4, petty theft, number 5, petty theft, number 6, grand theft, number 7, grand theft.
I think we're just here on 7, Your Honor.
Well, I guess that's why there's an asterisk mark next to number 7. So bonds were already set on all the other ones. It's just number 7 that we're before the court on today. Okay? Well, the paperwork is reflective of all of them, so.
I think I remember when he came up, confinement status advised me, and I advised the court that he was going to be getting ad charged with an additional count of grand theft.
All right, so these are not,
That is correct.
these are not
Judge.
brand-new charges, Mr. Brady, just so you, except for 7. Okay?
Judge, if I can remind the court of everything, yes, Mr. Brady was in front of you earlier in the week. I didn't say anything because he gave me the phone number of his mother, and I was going to call her after court to see if she can bond him out. And then at that time, Mr. Lender did tell us that there was going to be an ad charge. So he basically came the next day and was ad charged. I believe his total bond's $5,700. I never got to speak to his mother. I called, left her several voicemails. I do not know what's going on, Judge. At this time, I know the bonds were already set on those other counts. I'm going to be asking for Mr. Brady to be released on pretrial release because I have been unable or successful to reach his mother.
And, Your Honor, this again is another target that the theft occurred at.
All right, no, I remember this, matter. I'm gonna leave the bonds in place. There'll be $1,000 bond on 7, okay? All right.
I'll still reach out for your mom. I'm still gonna try.
Those
All
are
right.
negative?
Rafael Candido Ferreira.
He's here present, Judge, but he's gonna require a Portuguese interpreter, I think,
Judge, may I just have access to the record for a moment? On Candido Villela, this is another immigration hold, and I was called from our interpreter who's present there in the courtroom. Mr. Candido Villela was originally our client. We no longer represent him as he has counsel retained. I called per the request for a Portuguese interpreter. They advised me that they do not have one to produce for the court this afternoon. That said, our interpreter does speak Portuguese, and in the conversation with him, explained to him the nature of the proceedings today. Obviously, it's up to the court if the court wants to reset to get a Portuguese interpreter or whatever the court wants to do. But it was conveyed to me that Mr. Candido understands
Well, let's.
this is just the immigration
well,
hold.
let's,
So I just wanted to give you that information.
Thank you. Well, let's just put the request in for the Portuguese interpreter. I think that this is important that he understands.
Sure.
What's going on, and so we'll reset it for tomorrow. And
Very
If
good.
we can just request a Portuguese interpreter.
I will do so. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
And,
I think we should,
Your Honor, just so you know, he has no bond holds, so it's not gonna prejudice him. by-
right, but I just want him to understand.
Oh, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, it's not, I think that's the right decision, especially considering it's not gonna prejudice him, he can't get out of custody anyways on the other cases,
Thank
so.
you. All right, let's go to the misdemeanor hearing docket. Daniel Zamir. Do we have, is Mr. Zamir, CZMYR?
He's actually on both dockets,
He is?
yes. The misdemeanors at Capias, DWLS, the felonies, the new charges.
Yes, because we saw the 321, okay.
He,
All right, do we have Daniel Zamir?
I'm checking right now to see what facility he's at.
I'm sorry, who did you call, Judge? I apologize.
Daniel CZMYR. He's on
He's
the,
here. Sismer. I apologize, Judge.
he's on the misdemeanor hearing docket as well as the
The felony.
felony docket.
Correct, Judge.
I suspect he's here for, is he here for a second look or is
He's
he?
here for a second look on technically on both cases, Your Honor.
Was he out of, I'm assuming he was out of custody after this March arrest on the misdemeanor?
One moment, let's see. Yeah, what happened was, Your Honor, he was arrested March 21st on a domestic violence battery that's still pending and a capias on this same case. He bonded out on the capias bond, failed to appear in court again, had a capias issued, was arrested on these new battery law enforcement officer resisting without violence and misuse of 911 charges, and then they saw he had the capias issued again on the
Okay.
DWLS. Your Honor set the bond on the Bat Leo at $2,500, allegation being that he spit in the officer's face. What led to this incident was the misuse of 911, where he was making up allegations that his girlfriend stabbed him. I suspect it's the same girlfriend that he's not supposed to be having any contact with, because he has the pending battery against her before Judge McHugh. So Your Honor set the bond at $2,500, kept the bond on the capias in place.
And Judge, I did reach out to his father to see if his father can post Mr. Sismar's bond, and unfortunately, his father informed me he's going through his own financial crisis in which he's now homeless. So he's not in a position to help him monetarily. Mr. Sismar is also homeless as well. Now, he works off and on in landscaping. Judge, this was a a situation as far as the 911. Sometimes when people have, they get into altercations, they initially want to reach out to law enforcement for help, and then I can't find a better word than like buyer's remorse. They just have a chance to think about it, and they no longer wish for law enforcement to intercede. But I believe these phone calls that were made to 911 was within a 3-hour window. So, Judge, I know we requested initially a photo order for the numerous injuries that Mr. Sismer sustained as his result, his contact with law enforcement officer, and then at the end, I believe that's when he picked up the battery on an officer. But Judge, there's no one that's going to be able to post his bond, so I'm asking you to take that into consideration in determining what reasonable release conditions you can impose on Mr. Sismer.
I was gonna say, Your Honor, you can't really call it buyer's remorse when he calls 911 to report something, and during the same call, he refuses to tell them where he's located, he gives a false name. Buyer's remorse usually indicates that after the purchase is made, there's remorse. This was going on during.
All right, there are lots of things that are concerning to the court at this time. I am going to leave the bond in place. Okay? All right. Erline Valcourt,
North
North
Broward?
Broward, Your Honor.
My name is Belcourt.
Your Honor, and I'm not sure what's going on in this situation because she was arrested June 13th. And when she was arrested, I looked at the findings from the original first appearance, and it was written on there that she was to be transferred to mental health court.
I did look at that today, and I was wondering why. Was she sent to mental health?
There's nothing indicating in,
It's written on there, I think we discussed it, so I'm not going to take any action today. Let's see if we can, get Ms. Valcourt. Well, I think Judge Lerner Wren is she off?
I don't know.
I tried reaching out to her judicial assistant. I don't know if she's in today.
Judge, I spoke with Ms. Valcourt, and I'm going to be asking if the court would release her home on her own recognizance or in the alternative on pretrial release. As the court notes,
I'm sorry, when was she before this was June 13th?
yeah,
Yes.
some 2 weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago, and through no fault of her own, she's remained in custody and hasn't seen that judge. She provided me an address in Fort Lauderdale that she's lived at for the last 6 years. She lives with her daughter. She's not working. And she indicated to me that she would like to resolve this matter, but I know that competency has been raised
Yes.
with her, and so I don't believe that she can resolve this case today.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Judge Lerner Wren is out. And then next week is a conference. So I'll release Ms. Valcourt to pretrial supervision.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Valcourt?
Just listen to the judge first, and then I'll give you the.
Yes.
All right, the deputy is going to give you the address for the pretrial office. Tomorrow is a holiday, so they're not open tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a holiday?
Tomorrow is the 4th of July,
Oh,
so it's a
yes.
holiday. So Friday morning, you need to go to the pretrial office.
Okay.
And you need to get there. If you don't have transportation, get somebody to take you there so that you can sign up.
Okay.
If you don't go, there will be a warrant issued for your arrest, and
I will go.
you'll be before me again. So do you understand
I
that?
will go. Yes, I understand very clearly, Your Honor.
All right, well, enjoy your 4th of July.
Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. God bless you. You too.
Just follow
Thank you,
them out
Judge.
there. If they're okay. If you
Okay.
have any trouble, just give them a call. There's a phone number on there too, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
No action. On both, he has both a misdemeanor and he's on both on the misdemeanor and the felony docket. Whichever word makes it work. All right. Only because I know that we've had that discussion over the past couple of weeks. Asuri Vanshi,
Changes by the day.
Your Honor.
Your Honor. Hi, good afternoon.
he's at Conti.
Yes, he is. Judge, this is an interesting situation, if I may. The court set bond at $1,000 and entered an order that he is to surrender his passport. I spoke with Mr. Suryavanashi, excuse me, sir, and he's advised that he is able to afford that bond, but that Homeland Security has already taken his passport, and so he does not have custody of the passport. And because he obviously cannot surrender the passport that he no longer has custody of, he's unable to be released from custody. I think I would ask the court to swear him in to take testimony as to that, only as to that condition, because I'll be asking the court to delete that condition so that way he can post his bond and be released from custody.
Your Honor, in certain situations, admittedly, the state has been satisfied with the defendant being placed under oath. I would object to that being done in these circumstances. I think you recall this case. Mr. Servinashi is an employee of a cruise, on a cruise line. The victim is an employee on the cruise line. This is not your typical battery allegations. It does appear that it was going to a certain place that didn't quite go that far. It was a cause for, I actually asked for a bond increase. Your Honor kept the bond at $1,000, but,
No, I remember. So
It's
if he's surrendered it to Homeland,
from what he told me is that what law enforcement, and I don't have the PC before me today, but that when law enforcement went onto the ship to effectuate the arrest, that his passport was taken by customs enforcement, and he does not have it. He's spoken to his employer; they do not have it. That customs enforcement has custody of the
well,
passport.
then somebody needs to be able to verify if some authority has it.
I don't know.
I'm
he
not
could
willing
do
to make,
beyond that.
I'm not willing to make that change only because, based on, information that I'm not able to verify.
The only thing that I could give you is, I mean, right now all I have is proffer, right? But the only thing I could give you is his sworn testimony based on what he's told me. I wouldn't know how we could track down the location of his passport.
Well, at least for the arresting agency should be able to tell you if they confiscated his
See,
passport.
that's initially what I thought, but what he told me was it was not the arresting officers that took his passport, that it was
Yes.
customs enforcement that took his
Well,
passport.
then
but
none
even
of
then, a
that-
call could be made. But even if that is the case, certainly a call by counsel, or not necessarily Mr. Goldberg, but a representative of the public defender's office could call and confirm that with them. I'm just asking that if this specific matter, a motion should be filed and it should be heard before it's assigned judge.
I have to agree with that, only because he's not local. There are other considerations at this point in time.
Judge, just while we're before the court on this, I see just in looking into our internal, that this gentleman made application to the public defender's office, and the clerk has made an initial determination that he is not indigent. I believe he is still in need of assistance of counsel, especially in light of the fact that now he's not going to be able to be released from custody. So at this time, I'm asking for the court for an order appointing our office to represent him, and we can go from
I'll
there.
grant that order.
Yeah, I don't have an objection to that.
I'll
Thank
grant-
you.
Okay. All right,
Because I don't have any.
It's okay.
okay.
I know.
All right, sir, your attorneys will work with you, okay?
Okay, because I don't have anyone to help me out.
Yes,
anyone
yes,
to-
I will sign the
Okay.
order appointing them to represent you.
All right.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Brendan Jones? No. Is that, you're writing it?
All right, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jones,
Good morning. Good afternoon.
it's afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Jones. So I'm assuming Mr. Jones was out of custody, but then back in custody as of June 6th?
Yes, Your Honor, he's being held on a violation of pretrial. Your Honor, I can actually advise the court, this it's not reflected in Odyssey, but the state filed an information June 24th. I've let the support staff supervisor in our felony case filing unit know, so she can contact e-filing that they need to update Odyssey to show. But we have an e-filing number that you can only get from filing an information. So it has been, an information has been filed. And
Mr. Jones, I'll handle the hearing.
for record purposes, one moment. Your Honor, the state received a filing number of 901-38641 when the information was filed on June 24th.
Judge, we did file this motion based on what the information that we had, which is that he had been in custody for over 30 days without formal charges being filed. I don't see that on Odyssey. I do accept the representation of counsel, though, that the case has been filed.
Okay.
So he would not be entitled to release on this.
All right, so at this time, Mr. Jones, the state has formally filed the charges, even though June, well, I don't know how long
'cause
he
he
was
was
in
out,
before. He was out and then in.
Could I say something, Your Honor?
Yes.
Just don't speak about the facts of the case, Mr. Jones, okay?
Oh, okay.
I was on, you released me on pretrial release, and I don't understand why did they violate me on pretrial release when you reinstated it. I had a death in the family, and I believe I went in front of you, and you reinstated the pretrial release, and for some reason, they picked me back up for the pretrial release when you reinstated it. I was out on pretrial release. I'm asking, could the court please give me a pretrial release again? I go to court.
Well, I don't know what those circumstances are.
Your Honor,
Yes.
hey, actually, hold on one second, sir. Your Honor, a warrant was prepared for Judge Coleman alleging that Mr. Jones committed a new offense, resisting without violence, on May 23rd of this year. Judge
But
Coleman.
you let me out on it, Judge. You reinstated the pretrial release. If you can check your records, you reinstated it. I was out of custody on it, and for some reason the cops picked me up. I had a death in the family. My little brother had passed, and you reinstated it. I was at North Broward facility. You let me out on the pretrial. If you can look at your records, you'll see that I was out.
It's not a matter of that. It's why you're back in.
I think what happened was, Your Honor might not have taken any action when you were advised that he was on pretrial. That certainly doesn't preclude Judge Coleman from addressing the matter.
Okay, and he's the case is before Judge Coleman.
Oh, yes, Your Honor.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, sir, you have to go before your division judge on this, okay?
But I have a bond on it.
Whatever the status is at this time.
Why wouldn't I have a bond on it?
I don't, sir, you need to speak with your attorney.
You do have a bond, sir.
Okay.
Your bond is $5,000 in total, but we can talk about that later. Actually, I'm sorry, you're no bond at this time. That was the
Nicholas, all right, sir, you have to go to your division judge and you have to speak with your attorney. Nicholas Garcia?
Judge, I showed that he was released from custody.
Mr. Garcia's been released.
Yes.
And then Keith Fleming?
Hold on, Your Honor.
Mr. Fleming, looks like he's here for a 30-day motion. I have the arrest date as May 31st.
Sorry, who's this, Your Honor?
Keith Fleming?
Yes, Your Honor, the state filed an information this afternoon.
2:30. All right, Mr. Fleming, at this time, the state has filed the charges, so I'm denying the motion at this time, okay?
What are the charges now?
Here, I'll look that
I
up.
see it.
They'll-
It's
they'll
one
tell
count
you.
of grand theft and one count of resisting without violence.
They were filed as presented.
Did you, okay. You heard that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Samuel Renshaw,
North Broward, Your Honor.
all right,
Good afternoon.
This is a second look, Your Honor.
okay.
The reason he's before the court with, on the second look with the June 10th arrest date, when he had his second look originally scheduled, you were advised he was a medical reset. He was never put back on the docket. I believe it came to pretrial's attention So he was set today for a second look.
Okay,
I,
I'm sorry.
it's okay. I can advise you, the case filer actually made a filing decision today to file the charges as presented. Adam, if you want to proceed.
Yeah, I mean, I still think he could get his second look hearing. Judge, from what he's being held on $500 bond on count one. Was it filed, you said it was filed as charged? Or-
Yes, but I mean, that's really neither here nor there since we're here on the
Sure.
second look.
It's a $500 bond, Your Honor. He's asked me to ask the court to release him on his own recognizance or place him on pretrial. He lives in Miramar. He's lived there for the last 12 years. He's not working. He said there's no amount of bond that he can afford. I asked about family, and he advised that his sister had recently passed. So, Judge, he's asking if the court would release him on his own recognizance or place him on standard pretrial release.
Your Honor,
what kind of criminal history does Mr. Renshaw have?
one moment. Mr. Renshaw's come through pretty regularly the past 3 years. It's usually on lower level stuff. In this instance, according to the allegations, the resisting rose to the level of a resisting with violence. He was arrested about 10 days prior to this arrest on capiases on 3 separate municipal ordinances. Trespasses last year, failure to leave property 2017, theft 2016, resisting without violence 2016. My greatest concern, it's not a safety of the community issue, Your Honor. It's his future appearance in court.
I'll show up. It's no problem. I'll be in the area.
Do you have an address, Mr. Renshaw?
I'm homeless. Yeah, everybody knows me in Miramar. All the police know me. All the EMS know me. Paramedics, everybody knows me.
Okay,
I'm well known.
okay.
I was in the hospital when I got arrested. You know, the Hollywood. I was trying to. The doctor told me to leave because he discharged me because he said all my vital signs were good.
I don't think we should talk, Mr. Renshaw, about the facts of the case at this point beyond that.
Oh, Mr. Renshaw.
All I know is I got tackled from the back and I didn't
Yeah,
know where
that's
it came from.
exactly the kind of thing that we're not going to talk about right now.
And the cop.
Yeah.
All right. I am gonna leave the bond at $500 at this time.
Oh, man.
Okay? All right.
Nope.
How about Mr. Thompson? Is it Mr.?
It's a Miss
Miss
Thompson.
Thompson?
Yeah, she's inappropriate, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, this,
Oh,
and it's the same situation. When she had her second look scheduled, it was a medical reset then. Do you have access to do you have the probable cause affidavit,
okay, hold
Judge?
on.
I think, what's that? I'm sorry?
Oh, you know what? This one came before Judge Murphy, so. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, no, Your Honor Your Honor previously saw the PC. She just never actually had her first appearance in front of you. It was a little,
Okay, I have it. Let me look. And these are felony charges.
yes, and they're gonna be filed as charged. Frankly, I think the court and both the state and defense had concerns that there might be other issues
Yeah,
going on.
there probably needs to be some evaluation. So today I'm not gonna take any action. Thank you, Deputy.
You're welcome.
All right. I remember us discussing that.
This case was filed, or you just know
It's
it's coming?
gonna,
No,
it's
it's a
gonna be
second-
filed probably either later
This
today.
is a
or
second
tomorrow.
look? This
Yeah.
was a second?
Yes, because it never came back after
Right.
the medical reset.
All right, Philmon Mowat?
Your present Judge of Maine approaching. Mr. Moore, come on up, please.
This usually gets up there.
Somebody's writing
Yeah,
very
is that
hard.
North?
Deputy.
There you go. Your Honor, this is, Mr. Mowat is before the court on a felony theft. I believe he's got a $750 bond. It would appear that the court took no action based on his history. He resolved a paraphernalia May 16th. He resolved a 2018 felony theft on February of this year to 270 days county jail. He was just released from county jail June 14th, 2019. He was picked up on that at the same time he was picked up on the drug paraphernalia because he violated pretrial and failed to appear in that case. He also had 2 outstanding capiases for 2 separate petty thefts that he resolved. The violation of pretrial was based on, let's see. He stopped reporting, he stopped calling in, and pretrial had no idea where he was. He's also got another theft 2018, another theft 2018. Your Honor, my concern is if he were to be placed on pretrial, it would be the same result again of his failure to report and committing new law offenses while out.
And Judge, the $750 bond is something that Mr. Moore cannot afford. He's homeless, he's 59 years old, and it's true, as the state said, he recently was released from county jail after, I believe, the petty theft, which he was incarcerated and did his time for, happened, I believe, August 12th of 2018. So, the felony petty theft that I hear, that's here before you, I believe it's at a Walmart. Most of the alleged items, or most of the items that they recovered were necessities, food, things of that nature, Judge. Right now, there's no one that can afford to post his bond, Judge. We're asking the court to consider releasing him on pretrial release.
I'm going to deny that request. All right, Wayne Newland. Mr. Newland bonded.
Yes, ma'am.
Alan Moskowitz.
He's here, President Judge, a man approaching. Come on up, sir.
All right,
I
Mr.
believe Mr.
Moskowitz.
Moskowitz is being held on a $4,500 bond. He can't afford that. He's on disability. He lives locally here in Plantation. He advised me there's no one he can contact. I'll post his monetary bond. There are mental health issues, Judge, but right now he can't afford to post any sort of bond, so we're asking for him to be released.
And again, Your Honor, this is, I think we're all familiar with Mr. Moskowitz. He's come through this division many times in the past, and I think his mental health issues have been pretty well documented. Frankly, I think this is another situation where I think there's other avenues that need to be taken.
All right, I'm going to deny the ROR at this time.
Yes, sir.
Marquis Brinson.
Brinson, come on. North Broward, Your Honor.
Mr. Brinson was arrested on June 30th. So he's, is it Brinson or Brunson?
It's
Brinson. Mr. Brinson has a total of $2,000 bond. What's going on? I don't remember. Does he have a criminal history?
I'm just looking into that right now, Judge.
Judge?
Yes,
Listen, just don't speak about the facts of your case, okay?
No. I was trying to see if I can get this resolved on pretrial release.
It's a felony matter, so you can't resolve it at first appearance court.
Okay.
You have to go before your division judge.
Out of where? No, it was declined. I think, Your Honor, Michelle, let me know if there's anything substantial out of county. As far as Broward, please. As far as Broward, 2018 possession of substituted cathinones, a grand theft in 2013, and a robbery by sudden snatching in '05. I think what also caused the court some concern is that the allegations are that he stole from the same Home Depot twice in a 5-day period. Once was on June 25th, where he allegedly stole $3,117. I'm sorry, no, June 25th was
So $2,500.
$2,500. The June 30th incident was approximately 3,000 and change.
And, I'm sorry, what year did you say was the most recent, prior?
One moment, Judge. 2018 possession of substituted cathinones and trespass, excuse me.
Those cases are still pending?
No, they were resolved. From what I can tell, he's got nothing pending in Broward.
Okay,
Nowhere.
all right.
Judge, I think Mr. Brinson is asking if the court will put him on pretrial release.
Please.
He'll be a level 2, he'll be on an anchor monitor.
Do so.
I'm sorry?
I can do so. That'll be some discipline for me.
Well, I hope so. I will release you to pretrial supervision with this a level 2. That means you're gonna be on an ankle monitor. Pretrial will have to come to the facility to fit you with the ankle monitor and give you further instructions, okay?
Okay, miss.
All right,
But
good.
Thank you,
I
Judge.
still want the bond as it for the, as
You
so
won't
far
have
the
to,
bond.
you won't have to pay the bond.
Okay. Let's go with that.
All
All
right,
right, yeah, have a nice day.
okay, you too.
I gotta wait for her to come back.
No, I believe that they ship you down to the main jail, and then they put an ankle monitor on you, then somebody from pretrial.
Deputy, they're gonna have, just so I want him to be aware of the process, they're gonna have to confirm
They
and
have to verify your
verify an
address.
address first. Once they do that, then the process starts.
Okay.
All
Thank
right,
you.
So it probably won't be.
Judge,
yes, yes.
in reference to Daniel Sismer, he already was done and addressed. I just wanted to ask the court if you would sign a photo order. I may have
Sure.
forgotten to do it the first time when he appeared before you on Monday.
No problem, I'll sign it.
Which defendant?
Thank you, Judge.
Saint Smear, he's on the
CZ
felony and the misdemeanor.
I see
MYR. All right, I believe that we've
Probably easy to
completed
tell
all
from
our
my
dockets,
mispronunciation.
so,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody have a good 4th
Thank you too,
and
Judge.
stay safe. And I'll see everyone, okay?
On the 15th.